Get ready with me while I tell you about my MAGA influencer boyfriend who was 34 and moved me across the country at 20 years old. For those who don't know, my name is Ashley St. Clair. I was a MAGA influencer involved in MAGA politics for almost a decade. I know. Now, I went back and forth for quite some time about whether or not I ever wanted to talk about this situation, but I think it's important, especially as I'm deconstructing and talking about my evolution throughout MAGA politics. But part of it was because my behavior was less than stellar in this relationship. I blamed myself a lot. Simultaneously, I also remained friends with this individual for a long time because there were times where he was friendly. I don't know why I maintained this relationship, but I did. Now, it wasn't until many, many years later that one and then several other of his ex-girlfriends reached out to me, became friends with me, and it turned out that it wasn't just, crazy Ashley who had this experience. He was doing this to many, many other women, and he had a modus operandi. So we are trying the reformulated and what is supposed to be the color match for my discontinued shade and see how this goes. Now, this man, because I have enough lawsuits, we will call him Tampa because that is the god-awful place he moved me to. But I met Tampa at a Turning Point event, ironically the Young Women's Leadership Conference, when I was 20 years old. Now, right away, Mr. Tampa starts chatting me up. And immediately, he invites me to go join his friends about 2 hours away in the middle of nowhere, Texas, at this ranch, whatever. So I do. And at this time, right, I am 20 years old. I am a college girl. And within a month, this relationship progresses very, very quickly. He is flying me out to Tampa to visit him for the 4th of July, introducing me to his friends, calling, texting me. And at this point, I was incredibly insecure and very much a pick-me. I needed this male validation more than I needed water or a doctor. So I was eating it up. Mind you, this man is in his mid-30s at this point. And he asked me to move to Tampa, demands it really. He says, I want you here, I'll take care of you, move out here, you can just do Instagram like me for a living. Because at this point, this man is a professional Instagrammer. So this man comes to Colorado and swoops me up from my mother's house, moves me out, and we drive across country in my car, my Hyundai Elantra, to Tampa. We arrive basically on the day of my 21st birthday, of which I spend in a shitty dive bar with him and 2 of his friends. Nothing memorable. I honestly forget it happened many times. When my mother finally sees where this man has moved me into, she is aghast, okay? Because there is part of the ceiling falling down in this place. Nonetheless, he is switching up very quickly, getting upset that I'm not contributing enough to the bills, says I need to work more, which, by the way, mind you, he just had me leave my college town and leave school and do Instagram for a living. How am I supposed to do that, honestly? How am I supposed to do that? Now, before meeting this man, I was a bit more contrarian. I had not fully evolved into my MAGA form, but he made sure that my evolution was going to be complete. He would tell me what to post, he would make me hold poster board signs and tell me exactly what to write on them, and then share these on his Instagram with, over 1 million followers. And he very much was curating everything that I said, told me never cross the base, here's how you respond to this, X, Y, Z. And I was really finally coming into form, into my full MAGA costume. He was giving me trucker hats that were aesthetic nightmares and teaching me how to wear a MAGA costume, of which he did, right? This man's hands were softer than mine, but he dresses up like a blue-collar worker every single day. At sometimes, he purposely keeps mud on his truck because, in his words, people expect Tampa to have a dirty truck. Excuse me? I'm probably gonna need 2 parts for this because I forgot how fucking crazy this man was. But within a month of me moving to Tampa with Mr. Tampa, I am then whisked away to Martha's Vineyard where his mother owns a house, and I was trapped on that godforsaken island for a month because he spends a month there every summer. So right away, after only knowing this man for a short blip of time, I am stuck on Martha's Vineyard with him and his mother and sleeping on a patio bed. Now, this made me feel like I was in a scene from Get Out, so the only thing I did to numb the pain was drink excessively. This man, however, all he does is hit his Benjamin. I don't know that this man is ever sober because he's addicted to kratom and flour, if you know what I mean. He is always on something despite this very conservative demeanor he puts out online. Now again, this relationship was very volatile. There was a lot of screaming, fighting. I was never violent, though I probably should have been. Now this relationship, I had moved in July, and by November, I was out of there, okay? Towards the end of the relationship, I was in the hospital with a kidney infection that went to my blood. They had told me that if I didn't go to the hospital when I did, and they had come a day later, I would probably be... Nonetheless, mind you, I had no family here. I am in Tampa. I know no one in Tampa, and Mr. Tampa said that he could not stay with me at the hospital because he had posted about a veteran's funeral on Instagram who didn't have any family, and he needed to show up to this. So while I am basically dying in the hospital, I am watching him post about a funeral for a veteran who had no family, as if he's this altruistic guy. Mind you, 1,500 people showed up to this funeral, while I was dying in the hospital with no family. Now, after I almost died, I decided to go visit my family in Colorado and my friends and really get the fuck away from this man. Now, when I came back after my short trip, I found a face mask in our shared master bathroom, which was incredibly curious because at this point I had already moved into the guest bedroom because I was over this man. When I pressed him about this, he said, "I thought it was yours," to which I responded, "I would never use something that disgusting and cheap." It turns out this face mask belonged to a current sitting member of Congress who he is friends with. To this day, they both insist that nothing happened and that she just spent the night because she needed somewhere to stay because she was moving to the district to carpet bag for her seat that she currently holds now. She also got very upset at me for telling this story because it insinuates that she cheated on her husband, though all I have done is tell the accurate recollection of facts here. Oh, this woman also, while I was dating Tampa, had a group chat with him and his friends telling him to break up with me because I'm a brand liability, which is accurate, but really I should have broken up with him because he's fucking crazy. Now again, I maintained a friendship with this individual for many years, mostly because I think I convinced myself that he was the one who had to put up with me and that I was just crazy and going through a lot, all of which may be accurate, but he was also no joy to be around. And it wasn't until last year when one of his many ex-girlfriends reached out to me with an almost identical story, including his inappropriate relationship with this sitting member of Congress, who still to this day, despite him being in relationships, calls him in the middle of the night to go look at the sky and other weird shit like that. His most recent ex-girlfriend that he moved from Texas to Tampa is now stuck in Tampa. Despite being a California attorney, this man is a full-time MAGA influencer on Instagram because being a MAGA influencer is quite literally more lucrative than being a fucking entertainment attorney. Of the times I was having a next level mental breakdown because living with this man made me want to end it all. He told me that he thought the government was targeting us with sound weapons to destroy our relationship. I wish I was kidding. Needless to say, I hate Tampa.